Hello everyone to my demo and code walkthrough of my mobile app LearnStuff. So we'll jump right in here today. LearnStuff is a program that is supposed to help you study, kind of similar to Quizlet, but without the paywall. Um, so to start off, this is the opening screen of the app, and it gives you a few options of different vocab sets. In the future, there will be ways to enter in your own vocab sets, but for now, there are only predetermined ones. So we'll go with the anatomy set of vocab here. And so as you can see, this opens to a menu screen with several different options of activities. And we'll look through the code of this later. You might notice that the interface is relatively basic. These are all very default styling values because this is mostly a working prototype. Hopefully, at some point in the future, this will be a little more prettied up. And you'll see that throughout the whole app. These are all just very basic so that all the functions are there before anything's getting pretty and polished. So we'll start out with the most simple activity, which is flashcards. So you can see how that works. We hit start, then it will give us a word. We can tap anywhere on our phone here, or emulator in this case, and get to see the other side. If we got it, we can click that and move on to the next one. Um, so that means good. Yep, well, good, true. We got that one, but let's say we didn't know this. We could say it needs work. And the cool thing about this is that at any point we can leave, or once we finish this is about 70 terms, so we won't finish this right now. But it would do the same thing as if we just click leave right here. And it tells us words that need work. We messed up on this one. We didn't know what cartilage was. And then we can leave and go back to the activity screen. So that was the flashcards activity. Next is the fill in the blank, where this one tests if you can type these. Let's see, does it? Oh, it does connect to my keyboard. So I'm not sure what this is, so I can say get a hint. That gives me the first two letters. It's opposite. I still don't know what this is, so it's gonna tell me to try again, but I give up. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Toward adjacent. Oh, I think this one is just add. Okay, here we go. That is correct. And so we could obviously keep going, the next word, so on. But once we leave, it'll show us, oh, I think the emulator was a little glitchy. And so this wouldn't happen on the phone. But if we give up on a few of these, oh, maybe not. I think the emulator might hit things a little too fast. Well, either way, um, there's a nice little bug for you. But essentially, it'll do the same thing as the flashcards and show you what you got wrong. Lastly, we have the quiz one, which isn't very pretty with the buttons lined up like this, but it's a multiple choice quiz. So we can guess against, oppose, that's going to be anti. So that was correct. Toward or at the body surface. Superficial. Yep. No. We'll just get this wrong. Anti. That was incorrect. So if we leave, that'll tell us that we need to work on that one. Okay, so that's all of the activities. And at any time you can go back to vocab sets and change to a different vocab set. So that is the demonstration of the app running. Let's look at the code. As anyone knows, every good React app starts with app.js. So the app.js is very simple here. It just kind of facilitates where you go. So it'll start out in this home screen, and then it'll, once you have a vocab set chosen, it'll move you to the menu, to the game screen. So you can see in the home screen, very simple. We just have all these elements that are showing these different things. And once we change the vocab set, it's going to change the state that was given to it by app. And that'll move us forward to the menu. Again, very straightforward. And then the meat of it, though, is in the game screen. And you can tell that by all of the different states that are set in this. You've got messages, the index, the side of the card, the stage that it's in. So this facilitates a lot of the state that happens in the actual activities. And so these are also all of the functions that we use to do the next index to get through to the next vocab term. All these things that are similar throughout all these activities will be handled in the game screen. And then we can see the different stages referred to. At the beginning, there's a start button. And once that goes through, then we'll find the activity that it has through this switch statement and go to either the flashcards and open up that component or the fill in or the quiz component and give it all the props that it needs to render what it's going to be doing. For example, the flashcards.js, which looks pretty simple since a lot of it is happening in the game screen. This simply displays the text and will use this function that was passed in to flip the side or to guess and then move on to the next question. So most of those things will be happening in the game screen, but the display is handled in these individual components. And the same thing for the fill in the blank, except that it has to keep track of the text, so it does have that state, but mostly it's still a stateless component. And you can also see a lot of these different buttons which appear depending on which message is being shown. So if something was given that's correct, then the submit button will be there. Or otherwise, if it's not saying that it's correct, the submit button will be there. But once it's been given to it, it will go away, and so on and so forth. With all these buttons, they'll show up at certain instances. And so that is the extent of this code. Obviously, there's much more details that we can get into, but overall, pretty simple program. I don't think I've showed the quiz yet. This one is fun. It finds a few different, random answers to give the multiple choice options and puts that in some state as well. And re-renders that every time the index changes. But yeah, and so that's the idea of LearnStuff. It just gives you a way to study these materials. And that is my project, and it'll be continuing to be in development in the future.